G'day guys, Josh here. You guys are having a great day so far. Welcome to State of the Economy once again, which we're going to look at Voltan's server economy at the moment. And boy, it has changed quite a bit since the last time we looked at it, because previously, what we talked about, the money market was flat, everything was flat, blue crystals are cheap, blue crystals were 350G a pop, pouches were about 400 on life, harmony were about 200, and this new patch with the Arcanist being released has changed a lot. If you watched my previous video where we went over the changes, the main change that has changed a lot is the honing changes. The honing changes have changed so much, and also not to mention as well, a bit more honing materials being available in the tier 3 area has changed a bit, and also the tier 1 and tier 2, well, of course, with the new festival, that's changed quite a bit as well. And also not to mention as well, a lot of people coming back with the new Mekokoko event, which makes it easy to level up and easy to do things, and also at the same time, honing rates being at 100%, and sometimes you can indeed skip levels. Now, the new Express mission did leave a little boost in the Honor Leapstones, where actually leapfrog degraded Honor Leapstones, where Leapstones were selling at 40G, 50G per one, and if you're lucky enough to get in there, well, you made a bit of a tidy profit as well. But now, we're actually going to look at it a bit further to see how everything is going, and you probably have some expectations that Tier 1, Tier 2 mats have plummeted, and support mats in Tier 1, Tier 2 are now worth absolutely nothing, and you'd probably be correct, because everything in Tier 1 and Tier 2 now is 100% success rate, so you don't actually need any support mats whatsoever, okay? So let's take a look at it quickly as well. So first things first, we're going to go through all the AH and stuff like that as well. This is how we do State of the Economy, as we go through the AH to see what's going well and what's not going well. The main thing here is, guys, is to just basically tell you how the market is going, so you know, have a rough idea of where the market is. Now, if you complain in the comments being like you actually didn't tell anything, I can do this in my own time, well, do it in your own time, okay? I'm not dictating how you live your life, basically. We go to the Mari store, first of all. There's been no changes other than the previous change in Vikers to add these to the roster. You're still better off buying it off the AH, okay? Basically still buying it better off the AH. In fact, all of Mari's materials, you actually buy, it's better to buy off the AH because of these blue crystal prices. These royal crystal prices, these are royal crystals. You can buy 683 gold per 238. Okay, that's, you know, can you imagine what the blue crystal market's like? Also, as you can see here, since the last time, if you take notice, I did swipe to get my 7th character to get the Hyper Express event done as my previous video. But let's take a look at the shop, okay? So, not the shop, sorry, the wrong currency exchange. But you can see here, crystal prices are at 683, okay? They've doubled. And this is probably a really poor time to buy blue crystals, okay? Very poor time. Unless you need the crystalline aura. Okay, if you need the crystalline aura, probably a good time. Well, not good time, but you're going to have to grin and bear it. This gold price will slowly go down over time, but another change that's probably caused this issue as well is that the gold from royal crystals cannot be used for 3 days, okay? Cannot be used for 3 days, and it's unlocked. And I think it spooked a lot of people, even though Steam already have this for CSGO, where you can't trade skins for 7 days and stuff like that, to combat people who gamble, sell, and auto skins as well, where basically they hack and then flip a skin over the next few days. So every time you get a skin traded to you, you can't trade it for 7 days, basically. Now, let's get to the AH, okay? Let's go to the AH. Everyone loves the AH, okay? Let's see how the AH is going currently. So in AH, let's take a look at the pouches, okay? Pouches was the main money maker back in the day with the rifts. And you can see here, the pouches, especially Harmony pouches, have plummeted. Main reason why Harmony Shard pouches have plummeted, the speed run to tier 3, and partially the tower, if you've got, you know, if it's an old, will actually get all the mats you actually need to get part out of tier 1. Now, tier 2 still got some lifespan to it as well, but not so much, as you can get all your mats from the festival and a bit of the tower as well, if you get the stronghold buff as well. So basically tier 2 pouches have halved. This used to be 200, this used to be at 360, they've halved. Harmony Shards just plummeted. Not many people need Harmony Shard pouches anymore, because they're going to get enough from the island speedrun. Same with tier 2 to an extent, that you're going to get the same amount of mats. And it seems like Smilegate are trying to rush people through tier 1 and tier 2 so they get to the tier 3. And the Hyper Express event is to get one character to Argos at least, or beyond Argos, maybe to Voltan and Vikers. It's just basically a catch-up mechanic, and it's completely decimated pouch prices as well, because the whales that previously used to swipe to get the pouches don't really have to anymore. Now let's get to the other one where I talked about, you know, the leapstones, how they're going at the moment. Funnily enough, you know, leapstones didn't move that much. It's really odd because, you know, life leapstones actually went up to 10G. Hardy leapstones went up to 5G. You would think these, you know, prices would move down a bit. Now, another great debate here as well, to honor leapstones at 25 and greater honor leapstones at 35. It gives the debate whether or not you should do Yoho or Igrexion, because Igrexion gives 4, Yoho can give 2 to 3, and this can give 4 to 5. Overall, if you get 3 here, Yoho gives 105. If you get 5 here, it gives 125. It's actually a big debate. It's like the good old Una bag debate, whether you get the 500 Una coin cash or the 200 Una coin cash, because the 500 you can get the 10k gold, but over time the consistency always favors the 200 Una token. And it's actually quite difficult here to whether or not you go for the honor leapstone, because if you get 2 from Yoho, you get 70g, that's it. But if you get 4 from Igrexion, you get 100. So overall, Igrexion is 100 to 125, and Yoho is only 70 to 105. In fact, no, don't ignore what I said. You should probably be doing Igrexion for your Guardian raids and selling the honor leapstones, because they're going to be more in demand. And the main reason for why they're more in demand is because they're versatile. You can convert it to a Gator honor leapstone if you want, but a lot of the stuff from 1300 to 1370 require honor leapstones. And another thing that's really increased the prices is the Hyper Express event, where everyone still needs a bit of honor leapstones to get to that 1370 mark to get the rewards in the end, because the rewards are definitely worth where you get a lot of legendary cards, you get 2k gold, you get a lot of accessories, you get a lot of stones, you get honor leapstones and basic arrays for that ult if you want to level it up to level up in the future. So it's very, very good. Now let's take a look at the destruction stones as well. Whoops a daisy. So as you can see here, destruction stones have held steady at 8G. Held quite steady at 8G. And I don't think they're going to go down anytime soon. The main reason why I say they don't go down anytime soon is because I've ran out of destruction stones. I can guarantee a lot of people who have horrible luck like me have ran out of destruction stones, and they're going to hold steady for a bit, okay? They're going to hold steady. Even if you have, you know, a boundless of ults grinding it, I think a lot of people are going to be struck at destruction stones parts. For tier 1 and tier 2, this is completely expected as 1G now. Like, you know, basically, you're not going to have that issue where you're going to fail, because you got a 100% success rate. So, they're exactly where they should be. Now, Guardian Stones as well. Guardian Stones have dropped from 4G to 3G. Crystallized Guardian Stones is actually really, really easy to get. Like, you know, I've got about like 4k, 5k in the bag, ready to go, you know, very, very easily. I generate about 6k per day on my ults, so not entirely surprising. These have already been 1G. They're just going further and further into that 1G territory. I mean, when you can succeed on your first tap now, they're not going to go anywhere, okay? Like, they're just, if anything, they're just going to go down in price. Now, we're going to take a look at the popular engravings, and this is actually quite surprising to myself as well. So you got the Grudge books as well. You know, Grudge selling at 7.5k, which is down quite a bit. Grudge used to sell for like 20k. Now it's at 7.5k, and a lot of people are starting to be like, hey, we can potentially buy these, okay? And now we can go over to the legendary, you know, legendary ones overall, and we'll get rid of that, obviously. And you can see here, like, you know, there's some that obviously, like, you know, are pretty crap, no one really likes. We'll take the ones that are looking at the higher prices at the moment, which will be Grudge, and then Tajitsu's actually made a bit of a return as well, and of course Mayhem, KBW, and you get the Sorceress recipes, you got the Desperate Salvation still at 59k, Curse Doll, Remaining Energy actually has gone above Surge finally, and you can see here a lot of the class engravings that are really, really good, so basically not enhanced weapon, are selling at a really, really, really high price at the moment. Now I've got to say, Ambush Master has taken a bit of a dive, so if you need 12 engravings in some of these talents that are not so popular, it might be, you know, a time to take a look at it and maybe buy it up. You know, buy it up and get your 20 done. Because some of these, well, they're getting to a lower price. I'm not sure if they're going to continuously go down. That's the main concern I've got. I'm not sure if they're going to continuously go down or not. Now, on the auction house overall, the 5 stuff is still relatively expensive. I'll give you one example, okay? My enhanced weapon, okay? That's a big example of it, okay? And you guys can be like, oh, why are you focused on Deadeye so much? But the main reason why I say this is because it's super, super expensive. Like, you're gonna be like, oh, come on, Josh, it's not that bad, is it? But if you got, like, you know, if you're looking for a class relic, since there's no, like, Argos and anything like that to really bounce off with, it can be incredibly expensive. With, you know, a 500 crit with bad engravings is considered expensive. Like, also not to mention Domination and Curse Doll, though Domination's a useless stat, is still expensive. Like, I remember buying one of these, I had to buy one of these because I had to get the right engravings. Now, imagine if you got the right combat stats and also to right engraving, like specialization, for example. And the price just goes wild. I mean, look at this. I mean, Preemptive Strike's not even a good engraving. Crisis Invasion, like, some of the class things have just gone absolutely bonkers, as you can see here. And, you know, even the good stuff like the Grudge, this is actually a really, really bad neck, so I don't know, they're trying to get 400k for it. But you can see here with some of the class engravings, that's absolutely crazy. Let's just go back to my Paladin, for example, and put Blessed Aurora in, and put Swiftness, which is a Paladin good take. And you can see here, like, you know, probably the only cheap things are probably the neck and stuff like that as well. But you can see here, unless you got a Blessed Aura 5, which we'll put in right now, it probably is going to go crazy and bonkers as well. I mean, like, look at it, you know, basically for a not best stat, Blessed Aura with a bad trait, it's 777. So pretty much like in the market at the moment, the main things you want to target is if you get a class engraving with literally anything, okay, and it's a 5 or a 4, you can probably put it up there for 200G and it might sell. Like, someone might purchase it because the gold prices are pretty ridiculous for these kind of engravings. Like, really, really ridiculous, that you may be able to get away with, you know, getting a bit of gold here and there as well. Now, I did discuss the gold making as well on the side. With honing materials being really, really cheap at the moment, minus on Leapstones, it probably is a good time to keep, you know, putting up your alts to get them to 1400 and 1370 and 1385. Now, the main thing I'm going to say right now is that if you are a DPS character, I recommend going from 1370 to 1400, because there's not many phase 2s runnings in Argos anymore, so you might as well just skip the second step, because at 1385 at best, you're going to do just phase 1, unless you got a guild group that will carry you to phase 3, and then there's no point of putting your character above 1370 in the first place. So those are two things you got to consider as well. And overall, with, like, you know, the class engravings and stuff like that, take a look at those. With the dispatches, keep doing dispatches on classes that both of their engravings sell, such as the Destroyer, such as, obviously not the Bard, so such as the Destroyer, such as the Deathblade, and other stuff like that, where their legendary engravings sell for quite a high price. So you can generate more gold from those dispatches. You may need, you know, to get alts, of course, as well. So generally what you want to do is you want to try to get your Scrapper or Deathblade or any other alts that, you know, has a double engraving that will sell. Gunlancer, Artillerist as well, to get them on there, okay? To get them up there at 1385 so you can do Volganos over and over again. When you get to 1415, you can do Descaluda over and over again, and hopefully get the legendary books and you can sell them for quite a bit. They're another gold making tip as well. Also, make sure you keep doing the cube, because they generate a lot of legendary engravings as well that you can keep putting up. But overall, at this point in time, basically blue crystals being high means just, like, try to stave off the blue crystal buying as much as you can. But, you know, if you need it for Crystalline Aura, you need it for Crystalline Aura. Next time when the market goes down again to, like, say 300, 400G blue crystals or below 500, start buying up for Crystalline Aura. If they go lower, then unfortunate, but they could go higher. I'd say 400, 300G seems like a sweet spot. Remember, guys, this is done in late July 2022, so if you're watching this in December, be like, hey, this is not the case, you're dumb. Well, you know, it's a bit outdated, obviously. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys like and comment and subscribe with the good old, you know, just checking things out. As a final note as well, let's just check some bait. Let's just check the food, the pots, and stuff like that as well, because I completely forgot to check those. Pots are kind of like in a, you know, they've gone down a bit. It used to be 27G, now 17. Food. Oh, crap. I don't know how to type the food. We'll just put the herb in there and it'll eventually come up, right? Right? But you can see the food here. It's 162. It's probably still the same price, 16G per one. And then last but not least, which is the basic Oreha Mats. These prices are never going to change. They've always been 9G. They cropped up to 10G for a bit. These prices aren't really going to change either, because basically it's tied to a stronghold item. Can't really do much about it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed it. If you want to give me any tips of any areas that you want me to look at, feel free to do so. Like, you know, like what markers you want me to take a look at, and I'll do so for you as well. Anyways, hope you guys have a great day. See you guys later, and have a great time. Bye.